This is Appalachian Vibes Radio Show, live from 3rd Street Coffee House in Roanoke, Virginia. I'm your host, Amanda Bakke. Appalachian Vibes is a show dedicated to challenging the expectations and celebrating the diversity of music, art, and literature created in and around Appalachia. And welcome, please, to the first Appalachian Vibes show live with Murder in the Mountains. The first Saturday of every month moving forward, we'll be taking over 3rd Street Coffee with live interviews, songwriters, and authors. My guests today include Amelia Empson. She's a Blacksburg, Virginia singer-songwriter with deep ties to the cultural, historical realm of Appalachian music. Adria Accomando is an author from upstate New York who currently resides in Roanoke, Virginia. She published her debut young adult humorous sci-fi novel, Violet's Gray, in 2023. And Elsa Howell is a powerhouse singer-songwriter who grew up performing bluegrass and old-time music alongside her family. That's the next hour of Appalachian Vibes Radio Show from WNCW. And then we're going to do this again. You're listening to Appalachian Vibes Radio Show, live from 3rd Street Coffee in Roanoke, Virginia. My first guest is Amelia Empson. And this is the lovely young lady herself. All right, yeah, take it away. Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm going to start off with a murder ballad I wrote earlier this year.
Or can you do it on this one? Can she do it on this mic? Either one is fine.
Okay, I'll just stay
Okay,
standing
yeah,
right here.
just do that. So what was the name of that song?
This is a very good question. I have a working title that's called Murder on the James because I wrote it while I was doing some work along the James River. But yeah, I don't know. That's my working title right now is Murder on the James.
What kind of work were you doing along the river?
I was doing some forestry management in Nelson County, doing a lot of invasive removal and some like agroforestry type things, just a lot of planting of perennial plants.
So what brought on the idea behind this song?
I was listening to true crime podcasts all day by myself in the woods, and then I went down to the river where the property was, and I was still listening to true crime, and I decided, well, I actually didn't decide to get freaked out. I got really freaked out, and then it was very late, and a goose was like flying in the middle of the night, and I was very disturbed by that. So I was like, what's spooking this goose right now? And then I just sat down and write the song right there. I had the willow tree grabbed my hair while I had headphones on and was listening to stories about murder, and it really got my heart going.
The willow tree grabbed your hair?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, not.
There's just a little bit of feedback from this mic, I think. Here.
This is a better speaking mic, I believe.
I think you're right. So, okay, so what's the story that you imagined for this song?
I kind of imagined just like, well, I was kind of thinking of what this goose could be freaked out about, and I was going from there and just kind of thinking about how the like most bizarre thing could happen, and that could have been what set her off, and she would have like literally no way of saying anything about it, and it would be the same as if like, I don't know, she just decided to go fly somewhere else. It was just weird because they're not nocturnal and they don't fly at night, so it was freaking me out. And then I was thinking about everything that's happened on the James River, and I was like, I don't know a lot of history about it, but I was just kind of making up a scenario in my head because I like to do that a lot and make up little stories. And so I was just imagining like some poor woman getting murdered and just like floating down the river and accepting her fate.
And then the goose
saw it. That's all. The goose is the witness. The goose was not murdered. She was the witness.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know.
That would truly be tragic.
I know. There's a website that's doesthedogdie.com, but it could be doesthegoosediE.com. It's like for movies, gotta be prepared.
That's true. Well, in this song, a woman dies, not a goose. What's the next song that you're going to sing for us?
I'm going to sing, I have one happy song on the lineup, and it's a song about fishing, and it's also fishing season right now. I know it's like spooky murder season, but this is a song called Chasing Rainbows that I wrote a few years ago, and so I wanted to add one more cheerful thing so people know I'm not like super demented, because I write a lot of dark songs. Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, I think so.
Seem to be doing much good, except for getting me outside into the sunshine and put me in a better mood. I haven't caught a rainbow, I haven't caught a brown. I've seen 6 types of stoneflies crawl up to dry ground. I don't come home with dinner, I still surely does hurt. I'll never understand why they say waste not your life away. Oh, work a tale of each and every day. When I'm older, I don't know what I will say at the end of my life. I don't think that I will regret a single day that's spent wishing. A day that's spent fishing is doing me some kind of good. I come home with nothing but stories and something to feel, and I never could. Ooh, doo, doo, doo,
So I noticed we have quite a few themes about nature. What is, tell me a little bit about yourself and like your connection to nature.
I think almost all of my songwriting in one way or another comes back to being outside or like thinking about being outdoors, because it's really the place I feel the most inspired. And it's not necessarily always the place I spend the most of my time. It's always my goal is to spend the most of my time outside, but it's just like an area I always have creative energy. And growing up in Southwest Virginia and in a small town, I didn't always have like necessarily lots of things to do, but there was lots of hiking and fishing. And I grew up, my dad taught me to fish when I was very young, and it's just like all those things are important. Reconnection to the land. And I also work outdoors. I work in agriculture and community garden spaces. So to me, it's like kind of reconnecting to where humans were just pretty recently, but it's been a few hundred years since we were outside, as much as I'd like to be and everything. But yeah, I feel the most inspired outside, and we live in such a beautiful area, so it's hard not to write about it.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Yeah, what was it like living out there? Is it pretty rural or?
I didn't grow up super rural. I grew up like on the outskirts of town, and so I grew up on an acre, and we had chickens and ducks and like a small farm, and I grew up volunteering on a small farm down the road. And so, I had neighbors that were very close by, and it wasn't as rural as some other places just outside of Blacksburg. But yeah, it was definitely small town vibes, and I was much closer to the national forest than I was to like really anything else. So I spent a lot of time in the woods as a kid and as an adult.
Yeah, you work there.
Yeah.
It's like your whole office every day.
Yes. I spend lots of time outside every day.
What were your favorite lyrics from that song?
That's actually like my favorite song I've written, and I'm trying to think. I grew up with my dad being a very big proponent of catch and release fishing, and now I'm a hunter and I eat a lot of fish that I catch, but I always let brook trout grow, I guess. They need to get bigger and reproduce. But so I have that line that's, I'm my father's daughter, so I put her back in the water, and I really liked that, just thinking about my dad. And he's a really sweet person, and I've always appreciated his compassion and empathy for wildlife, and being raised in that way, and also still like encouraging me to, as I've like come into a different space of like hunting and fishing, it's still with a lot of the same mindsets and mindfulness than some other friends that I know who grew up doing similar things. I just really appreciate his perspectives on that.
So like, what are the fishing and hunting rules that people break that we don't know about? I'm not a hunter or fisher.
They're just like mental things. Like, I just think if you are going to hunt or fish or take any animal to eat, you have to like be so thankful for their life. And so just like not taking it for granted. And I have some friends that kind of, it is like an important part of wildlife management, and that's awesome. And like, but there's still a lot of respect that needs to go into it. And so I think also just like letting yourself not have to feel like you need to eat an animal every time you catch it is also nice. And like growing up with that being the standard, whereas I have friends who like always caught their fish. I just know like if I'm having a really good day and I don't want to kill a fish and go fishing, I can still do that. And like I appreciate kind of having that background, but it's also given me a much deeper thankfulness, I think, for when I do get to harvest a fish.
That's lovely. What song do you have next for us?
My next song is a song called Lights, and it's on my ukulele. I wrote this one when I was 15, so it's been a minute since I wrote it, but it's kind of a fun little, it's a silly little song.
Last year.
Yeah.
You're only 16. You just got a piercing really early.
Yeah.
Late nights lately, I'm not sleeping. I sit up with my lights out, contemplating all these changes, all the strife. I keep on wondering about the lights. Where do the lights go lately? The stars in the sky are gone. The moon gave up her waxing and waning. I'm wondering what that's about. Maybe we're apocalyptic. Maybe it's a broken sky, and I don't know what else to wonder. What I'm wondering, why I cannot cry. Driving in the empty void, only see by my headlamp brights. Wonder what's beyond their shine. Do they exist beyond the light? Are these objects existing from my own eyes? Do they have a future? Are they just darkness in disguise? Does it even matter? Oh, where do the lights go lately? The stars in the sky are gone. The moon gave up her waxing and waning. I'm wondering what that's about. Maybe we're apocalyptic. Maybe it's a broken sky, and I don't know what else to wonder, but I'm wondering why I cannot cry. Everyone seems out of touch. They don't seem to notice all the changes going on constantly around us. And maybe it's just some weird dream we suddenly walked into. While I doubt that that's the case, I sure hope I wake up soon. Where do the lights go lately? The stars in the sky are gone. The moon gave up her waxing and waning. I'm wondering what that's about. And maybe we're apocalyptic. Maybe it's a broken sky, and I don't know what else to wonder, but I'm wondering why. Where do the lights go lately? The stars in the sky are gone. The moon gave up her waxing and waning. I'm wondering what that's about. Maybe we're apocalyptic. Maybe it's broken sky. I don't know what else to wonder, but I'm wondering why I cannot cry.
Thank y'all.
So what was 15-year-old Amelia thinking about when she wrote this song?
I used to bike around at night all the time, and I just remember one night I had my like headlamp on my bicycle going, and it was so dark. It was one of the darkest nights I've ever experienced. Like I couldn't see other than in my ray of light, and I was like, I wonder if all reality is just like ceasing to exist in the dark. So I just was like, what? That was kind of a silly song, and I've always had a little bit of a morbid sense of reality, of thinking that the world's like a little bit about to end or currently ending. So I had that song, and then I also grew up watching a lot of Doctor Who, and there was one episode where the stars just straight up disappeared. So I was like, let me incorporate this little aspect, which is so nerdy, but my dad's English, so I come by it organically. I'm allowed to watch Doctor Who, so is everyone, but I did it before it was cool, and when it was even nerdier than it later became, so.
Okay, so tell me about your version of reality, or like this feeling, because I feel this way too. I also, since I've been born, the world was going to end, like for sure, at least 3 times.
Oh, yes.
And like everyone was certain the world was going to end. And 2000 being one of those. In 2001, when, I'm like, yep. What's the date again? When 9/11 happened. I had a math teacher pull me in, like, well, everyone that was in her class, she told us that this was end times, and they started pulling out all of these Bible verses on why this was the end of the world. So I left, this was like pre-internet, their internet existed, but you couldn't anyway. So for sure that time, and then I'm pretty sure it was going to end in 2012. And then I feel like we've had a few more, like, wasn't the rapture just supposed to happen?
2 weeks ago? Yeah.
And yet, no, that was just last week. See, that's how messed up time is. We don't even know.
Crazy. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. I don't know why. I just always have this like sense of doom, but like in a kind of like I like it way. When I was a kid, I like it less now, but I was kind of like, this is funny. Let's think about the world ending, and so I would just like be silly about it and just think about it all the time. I'm not really sure where it came from, but I was like constantly like, well, the world's going to end, or like something terrible is going to happen, so let's just do our little thing and watch creepy movies, and I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I keep waiting for it to happen, or the thing, whatever the thing is that's going to happen. I keep waiting for it, and then I'm very disappointed when it doesn't.
Yeah.
And this 3-eye atlas thing that's just swarming around, like, please visit. Just to come by. Tell us what's going on.
I feel like I'm always prepared for crisis when it actually comes, because my mind is always thinking about potential crises. So when it's actually happening, I'm like, this is cool. I've thought about this. So I think that's like the way that my brain has. They're like, no. If you just think about this all the time, then when it comes, like, we'll be able to handle it. So I don't know.
For an alien invasion, what's your plan?
I don't know. I don't really think about alien invasions, but I think it would just be the same. My plan, if the world starts ending, I'm just going to hang out with my friends and make really good food and feed people until there's no one left to feed. And yep, that's my goal.
Okay. Tell me, sorry to bring things down,
no, you're
guys.
Fine.
It is murder in the mountains, though, so anything could happen. What's the next song that you have for us?
So the last song, is that correct for? Yeah. Is the first murder ballad I wrote, and it's called Down in the Riverbed. And actually, Elsa, who will be on later, I played at this murder ballad, like Reclaiming Murder Ballads festival, and I hadn't written any at that point, and so I originally said no, and then I woke up in the middle of the night and wrote this song, and then I was like, okay, cool, I have a murder ballad now. But I don't know if you want me to talk about that now or after the song. Yeah,
tell me, what is this one inspired by?
So I keep on having these things where I'll say something is inspired by. Really, the way that my songwriting works is I have an instance where I have the energy of like writing a song, and so like it normally comes out all at once, and I don't normally have a lot of thought going into it. I just like play my guitar and sing and write down what comes out. So that's what happened with this song, is I literally woke up like at 2 a.m. and I was like, okay, I'm awake and I cannot sleep. And so I got out and just went to my guitar and I wrote this song kind of in a fever dream type way. And it tells a story of like a woman who finds her lover dead, and she knows who did it because it's someone who wanted her, and she's like, no, I was very happy with my person, thank you very much. So she decides to go hunt down the person who killed her lover, which I kind of thought was fun because normally women get killed in murder ballads, and so I was like, I want to be like avenging my boyfriend. I just thought that was a funny dynamic. But anyways, my dear boyfriend, who did not hear me writing this song, I was in another part of the house, and in the morning he woke up and said, I had this terrible dream last night that someone was trying to kill me at the river. And that's like the whole start of the song, is that the protagonist finds her partner dead in the riverbed. And so I was like, ooh, this is kind of weird. He was like, yeah, and it was like the same spot I had been thinking of in the river. But he didn't get up and look at my notes or anything, just woke up and I was like, the strangest dream last night. And I was like, I don't know if I tapped into what you were doing or if you tapped into what I was doing, but kind of weird little cosmic moment.
Ooh, that kind of freaks me out. He knew like the spot in the river that you had been thinking of?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It's McCoy Falls. There's this like particular island on McCoy Falls, down in Montgomery on the New River. So it's a spot that we've gone. It makes sense that we were both thinking of the same spot because we spend a lot of time there, but it was kind of funny because it was the same like inlet that we were both thinking of where there's like a lot of trees. Yeah, kind of crazy.
Okay.
Down in the riverbed, my lover rests his head, in the place where only you or I have seen. Down in the riverbed, my lover rests his head, and the water rushes over as my tears fill the stream. Down in the riverbed, my lover rests his head, in the place where only you or I had seen. Down in the riverbed, my lover rests his head, and the water rushes over as my tears fill the stream. Now I'm up on the mountain, hunting for you. Is that really a thing you thought that you could do with no consequences? Who do you think you are? I'll bury you tonight, deep in the mountain heart. I'll bury you tonight, deep in the mountain heart. My love and me had a love so sweet. I'm sorry that you never had the same. I always wish that you find happiness before your lack it seemed always was to blame. You could have had a happy life, you could have had a happy wife, but she never could be me. But to you I was the only one, so you went and took away the one who made me so happy. I'm up on the mountain with a bullet for you. I know these woods better than you think I do. I'll bury you tonight, deep in the mountain heart, and she'll drink you up with the morning dew. Yes, I'm up on the mountain, hunting for you. Is that really a thing you thought that you could do with no consequences? Who do you think you are? I'll bury you tonight, deep in the mountain heart. I'll bury you tonight, deep in the mountain heart. Ooh. rests his head, and the water rushes over as my tears fill the stream.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much, Amelia. Where can people find your music and learn more about you?
I have all my music is on all streaming platforms, or all major streaming platforms, just under my name, Amelia Empson. And if you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Instagram, and it's just the same, just my name, Amelia Empson, all one word. Yeah, it's a good way to keep up and see what's going on. And I post shows on there and play around the area, and sometimes I just got back from a tour with my friend Elsa, so we played in North Carolina. So if you're not in Virginia, I leave Virginia sometimes, so would love to see you at a show.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Can y'all give her another round of applause?
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored that you could be here today. Yeah, you're amazing. Thank you. Okay, so that was Amelia Empson, everybody. You can learn more about Amelia at ameliaempson.com. You can check out her music on all streaming platforms and follow her journey on social media. So coming up, my next guest is Adria Accomando. She's an author, a mother, a teacher, and she's been visited by aliens. Okay, so that's next on Appalachian Vibes Radio Show from WNCW. And then I'm going to introduce this again. This is Appalachian Vibes Radio Show from WNCW. I'm your host, Amanda Baki. Today is a live episode of Appalachian Vibes from 3rd Street Coffee in Roanoke, Virginia. We're celebrating the month of horror with Murder in the Mountains. We just heard terrifying murder ballads from songwriter Amelia Empson. And my next guest is an author and poet, above all else. Here's her personal account called The Sighting.
It was fall, maybe mid-November. I was about 8. We lived in a tiny 1930s bungalow that had formerly been a vacation house in a town about 90 minutes north of New York City, where people long ago would come to spend summer weekends around a lake. Our little yellow house had 4 rooms when my young parents scraped together just enough for a down payment. By the time our story begins, they had worked nights and weekends to give my younger brother and I each our own bedrooms, his in a converted porch, mine in a subdivided living room. This is the reason my bedroom had 2 walls of windows, each 4 feet high, that started about halfway up the wall. There was no such thing as room darkening shades in our house. Besides, I was the kid who woke up at the very crack of dawn, the reason only my grandmother didn't mind me spending the night. On this particular chilly November night, I had gone to bed at my usual 8-year-old bedtime of 8:30. The sky already long dark in the shadow of daylight savings. Sometime later, the light woke me. "Mommy," I called, as children do when they wake in what seems like the middle of the night. My mom was a night owl, so it could have been 10 p.m. or 2 a.m. I know I was fortunate that she would have come to me at either one. "What's going on, Adria?" she asked quietly in the dark of my room, just her head poked in the door frame. "The moon, it's so bright. It keeps shining in my window and waking me up," I whined. My mother didn't respond. She walked fully into my room and over to the window, looking out, searching for the moon. It was nowhere to be found. "Do you see it, Mommy? It's bright," I asked. I don't see the moon," she said. I could tell by her tone that something was not quite right. Then she called for my dad. He's not a night owl, but had been dozing on the couch, so it was likely closer to 10 or 11. He groggily lumbered into my room. "What?" he asked, dragging a tired hand down his face in the dim light of my room. "Come look out the window," my mother ordered him. He walked over and looked to where she pointed through the top half of one window into the night sky. "What the?" he asked, his voice now fully awake. "What's wrong, Daddy?" I asked, now worried. Nothing," he said, though he and my mother shared a look that I understood to mean that there was definitely something wrong. I froze. I trusted my parents to keep me safe, but I also knew there was something happening that was scaring them too. And when you're 8 and your parents are scared, there's no way not to be scared yourself. Just then, the bright moon, not moon, shined its light again. I was not some kind of child genius, but at 8, I knew the moon did not appear, disappear, and reappear in the absence of thick clouds, which there were none. Again, my parents shared a conspiratorial look. I'm going to go outside and see what that is, my dad announced. No, Daddy, I begged. It'll be fine, he assured me before heading out of the room. It's okay, Adria, my mom said. It's just an airplane and Daddy wants to see it. I didn't not believe her, but I wasn't sure I believed her either. I was still at the age where I thought my parents would never lie to me. I still couldn't fight the uneasy feeling in my stomach as I watched my mother's wide eyes glued to the sky. That's when my dad appeared below us outside the window on the slope of our yard. His back was to us, head turned upward, hand shielding his forehead like a salute. My mother opened the window. Not only was there a whoosh as the cool autumn air rushed in, but another sound could be heard. It was a faint hum, a monotone sound. Are you seeing this? My father called. I knew he was asking my mother. What the hell is it? She asked. I followed her eyes to the sky, to the same spot where my father also looked. In our yard, we had an enormous maple tree. It dwarfed our little house and could be seen from several streets away. Since it was November, the tree had lost most of its leaves, but some clung to the branches, defying Mother Nature. I saw what my mother and father were looking at, the not moon, the light or lights that had woken me up. In the sky, not far above our giant tree, was something. It was not an airplane. It was not a helicopter. It was a craft, a V-shaped object with multiple lights across the bottom. And it didn't move. It hovered like a hummingbird. No trajection, just a hum, a low whir in the otherwise silent night. There was movement. It was the leaves. Those last leaves of autumn were being gently blown by some force coming from the craft. Daddy, come in the house, please, I begged, tears welling up. I grabbed my mother's robe. Mommy, please make him come in, I pleaded, but she too was awestruck. She was too awestruck to do what I asked. Why don't you call the police station, my dad called back to my mom. See if anyone else has seen this. Keep in mind, this was pre-internet, pre-smartphone, even pre-digital camera. No one was thinking about taking pictures to capture this phenomenon, so there would be no posts or instant speculation. My mom was about to go to the kitchen to get on our landline when very suddenly the craft began to lift straight up. Then in the space of a blink, it moved forward and was gone. No streaks of light or fuel, no sound, just gone. My dad stood there for a few minutes staring into the now empty sky. My mother and I also stared in complete disbelief from the open window. When my dad took off toward the front of the house, we ran through the house to meet him. What the hell was that? My mother repeated, the same question she had asked a few minutes earlier. I don't know, was all my dad could say. I'm going to call the police, she said. Meanwhile, I hung back, somehow instinctively knowing that this was a time when my parents would not have answers to the endless questions I had. Hello? Yes? I want to report a sighting, my mother began. There was this thing in the sky. No, not a plane. It was V-shaped and it had light underneath it and it didn't move, she continued. 9025 Hamilton Drive, she said, obviously in response to whatever the person on the other end was asking. Yes, about a half hour ago. Okay, yes, thank you. What did they say? My dad asked immediately after she hung up. I listened, wide-eyed. They said they've had hundreds of calls tonight about the same thing, the whole area, she explained. I don't know when I finally went back to bed or if I even slept that night. I know my parents were up until the early hours of the morning, probably going over every detail. But that night wasn't the end. Not only did I and my family experience at least 3 more sightings over the next couple of years, but the entire region became a hotspot of UFO activity. TV specials were filmed there. Books were written. To this day, those experiences have made me a believer. Thank you.
That was Adria Accomando. Thank you so much, Adria.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now, tell me, So you were 8 years old when this happened. Has this influenced, I don't know, years and years of creative mojo for you?
Well, I mean, the experience definitely gave me some inspiration for the book that I wrote. It takes place in the area where I grew up in New York, and that mixed with probably a heavy dose of Ancient Aliens definitely helped me write that book.
Yeah. So what's the name of the book that you published?
It's called Violet's Gray, and I'm currently working on the sequel.
Ooh. So I actually read this. It's amazing. And there are copies of it over here. So for those of you online, you'll just have to go to Amazon. But if you're here and in person and would like a copy, they're for sale over here. And same for Amelia Empson and Elsa Howell's merch and stuff. Well, where can people learn more about your work?
I have my social media is just Adria Accomando, author. And like I said, I do a lot of poetry locally, but this is my first book, and I am working on the sequel. Right now it's available on Amazon, but I'm looking at publishing it on another site as well.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you so much,
Thank
Adria.
you.
That was beautiful. Yes. Round of applause. Round of applause. Okay, so that was Roanoke, Virginia's Adria Accomando, a young adult and poetry writer with her story, The Sighting. You can learn more about Adria and her debut novel, Violet's Gray, on Amazon. You can also follow her author's journey on social media. Coming up, my guest is Elsa Howell Trio, a powerhouse singer-songwriter with grit and grace. And she's also accompanied by her mom and dad, who happen to be incredible musicians as well. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. All the strings call for a little bit of tuning. Just a little bit. Just a little. We'll try and keep that to a minimum. But I'm going to kick things off with a song that I wrote in last year. This song is on my EP, which I have in CD form over here. We're going to kick things off with Lily. rage, it blinds me, nearly breaking every bow. I know he held her dearly, and I know where she is now. Thanks so much, y'all. All right. We're going to slow it down a little bit. We forgot to bring our little friend, the Shruti box, up here with us, but we're going to need that guy. This next song is a ballad that I love to sing. It's called Am I Born to Die? And am I born to die? To lay this body down, and must my trembling spirit fly into a world unknown, and must my trembling spirit fly into a world unknown. Soon as from earth I go, what will become of me? Eternal happiness or woe must then my portion be. Eternal happiness or woe must then my portion be. A land of deepest shade, unpierced by human thought, that weary region of the dead, where all things are forgot. That weary region of the dead, where all things are forgot. Thank you.
Good. Oh my God, do all of y'all have chills right now? Feel like you woke up some spirits in this place.
That's always the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, I really feel like you might have. Wow. So the first song, Lily, that you played.
Yeah.
Tell me what that song is about.
That is kind of my retroactive compulsive jealousy song. There's a lot going on. It's from the perspective of a young woman asking an older woman for relationship advice, and then she gets this big long story about how there's no point in loving because it'll drive you crazy. And this woman, it's kind of up in the air what exactly happened in her past, but she was driven mad by the fact that her lover had been with people before her, and just the idea that her lover would never entirely be hers. She couldn't live with that. And so something may have happened.
So she killed him?
She definitely killed his ex and then maybe him, but it leaves things a little bit open to interpretation.
Wow, that is jealousy. That is definitely the emotion.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What are your favorite lyrics from that song?
Oh, I like to think I am a woman with a gentle hand, straight spine, settled in the water like Virginia sand. I think it shows how she lives firmly in her delusion, and she thinks that everything was completely solid, and she knew what she was doing, and she had good reason for it. But
she was like, no, she has to die.
She has to, because I have to get rid of everything that came before me, and then,
Wow. So what happens? Does he find out that she's killed his ex?
I don't know.
Maybe in heaven?
Maybe when he sees her again.
Wow. What preempted that song? What kind of came about that made you want to write it?
I live in my mind palace a lot. There's a lot going on in there, and I do a lot of daydreaming and just thinking up stories. I'm heavily inspired by traditional Appalachian ballads and traditional old time and bluegrass music, and so there's a lot of themes that I pull from when writing, and especially in that song it was very murder ballad inspired. Yeah, I don't know. Wanted something funky, and I did a lot of poetry in college. I am really a poet at heart, and so it was born of a poem, and just kind of went on from there.
Ooh. What was the name of the poem?
On the Mill Pond Banks is what the poem was called. It was in my my senior manuscript when I was doing creative writing in college. So yeah, that exists somewhere. Don't look too hard.
It's some graduate person's gonna reference it someday.
I hope not. There's some stuff in there.
Okay, so this song, "Am I Born to Die"?
Mm-hmm.
First, what was it that your dad was playing?
That is a Shruti box.
A Shruti box.
Yes, I'm really obsessed with it. Because traditionally ballads are a cappella, unaccompanied, but we like to find fun ways to bring instruments into the fold with those traditional songs. And the reason I know about the Shruti box is just because I hang out with a bunch of people who are really cool, and they're I just learned so much from them, and so we've been borrowing one from our friend forever because I'm so obsessed with it, and we just finally got one of our own, so that one's ours, and we're so excited about it. But it's my dad would know more about the inner workings of it if you want to talk about it.
Is it cousin to the accordion? Is it cousin to that?
I think so. Yeah. It's cousins to reed instruments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Its origins, I think, in India.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, did you write "Am I Born to Die," or is that an old
No,
Appalachian?
That is, to the best of my knowledge, it is a hymn that originated in the 18th century. I learned it from a Doc Watson recording. So
Does he play it with a Shruti box?
actually, it has a fiddle accompaniment in
Oh,
the recording
cool.
that I learned from. So yeah.
Oh man! So why do most why were murder ballads done without accompaniment?
Well, traditionally, the ballad is a woman's art, and
We can't play instruments.
Well, we're too not even just
We're not allowed to.
More difficult for women to obtain instruments and musical education, of course, but also because the time period, women are mostly working with their hands in the home, and it's a very social art form and an oral tradition. So these ballads are passed down from women to other women that they know that they might be in a quilting circle with, or they might share a community garden with, and they're out there weeding plants and like singing each other's songs, or they're sitting around washing clothes together, or they're they're all watching their children together, but they're sharing these songs that they maybe learned from their grandmother, passing them on to their children and the other women in their community.
So we just didn't have access to instruments. So this
we
is
did.
here. Like, are we talking about Appalachia specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to come by.
Yeah. Well, also just because of poverty
Yeah.
in general,
Right.
instruments are expensive, and just that's a general reason that instruments are difficult to come by. That has nothing to do with gender, but in this particular instance.
I hear you. What is it that attracts you to that song the most? What do you like about it?
I love the melody. I love the structure of it. Just from just a song melody standpoint, I think it's just really beautiful, and I am drawn to haunting, floaty, sort of weird melodies and things like that. But also the words are really spooky. It starts out pretty strong. Am I born to die? That's pretty bleak, but it's just like the narrator contemplating, like, is this all I was meant for? And then what happens if that's all that's going to happen to me? So I think it's scary and haunting, and I don't know. I like it.
Do you think that like women in this time frame could hear this and then be like, is this what I was meant for? This is like they're kind of isolated in this version of who they can be?
That's a great question. I think, obviously, I wasn't there, but I think a lot of these sort of traditional ballads were taken with a grain of salt because they were storytelling tools, and they could have something to do with what was going on in the community or whatnot. They could be stories about somebody that and this one in particular, I think, was a hymn. It comes from a hymn. So I think it's religious reflection on, am I going to heaven or not? So, yeah.
Tell me about the next song you're going to play.
This next song we're going to play is called Dogs. This is a song that is also on my EP. I wrote it. It's also sad. Yeah.
And tell us who these lovely folks are that you have with you today.
Yeah, I am accompanied today by my parents, Isak Howell and Christine Howell. They are the best. Yay.
I'm a big fan too. Think you lucked out.
If you've ever seen the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The Stanley Brothers do a version of this song in that movie. But I'm going to do a version recorded by a woman named Bessie Jones from Georgia. The song is called Oh Death. This thing's made out of a gourd, but you gotta bear with it a little bit, yeah.
Good.
Oh, death in the morning.
Wait, Isaac.
You might need to come back for
Yeah,
this.
wait a second.
They want to know about
Is
the
that a
chord.
gorjo?
They want
What
to
do
know
we call
about the
this?
chord.
This is a gourd banjo. They call it a bottle gourd. It's I think this is I don't know, it's either calf skin or goat skin head. It has two heads on it, just tacked onto here, and it's just it's just a squash with a neck,
And it's fretless.
It's fretless, yes. Actually, it has little there's little inset frets where you can see sort of what you're doing. There's little cheat lines. Yes, that's nice. But yes, it is fretless. So you get that slidey, funky sound.
That was pretty cool.
Without the frets. So
That was pretty sick.
you thought you were weirded out by the Shruti box, and we were like, no, we got an even weirder instrument in the living room than
What
that.
can you do with that pumpkin?
Yeah. Not much, I don't think.
I don't know. I think it looks like a guitar to me.
Yeah.
You're right.
Just needs a set of strings and a neck. A pumpkin's got a future.
Okay.
In music, I think.
Awesome. Oh, man. Thank you so much. I have a couple questions about your song Dogs.
Yeah, hit me.
Woo. Tell me, what is we got dogs barking in the distance. Tell me what this
Yeah.
song is about.
Gut-wrenching fear. So, yes.
And rage, I heard as well.
Yes. So, my boyfriend wanted a motorcycle.
Insert rage.
Insert rage, exactly. He is a first responder, and he really wanted a motorcycle until one bad car accident, and he called me just in tears. And he told me that the man died while he was giving him compressions, and he was just really, really torn up when he saw the man's wife and child walk into the hospital. Just a horrible accident. And this song is, I don't know, kind of about just the fear of loving someone so much that it hurts when they leave this world, and you want to prevent them getting hurt in any way. But the woman, the speaker in this song, is at home waiting for her whoever to come home, and she starts hearing the dogs going off in the distance. They're going off about something, and she's just like spiraling about what they could potentially be freaking out about, and it's time for him to come home, and he's not home yet. So, she's freaking out about that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So the dogs saw.
The dogs witnessed the whole thing,
Ooh.
and they're reacting, and she's like hearing it from her home or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Was he murdered there on the trail? Was he on a trail? Was it a road?
I think it is envisioned as a motorcycle accident.
Oh, okay.
Because there's the line, oh my God, what even is the line? I don't know. At least I said two wheels at some point. I know that for sure. So yeah, it's, I guess.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just the highway and maybe a motorcycle and some sort of accident, but it's not real. That's the whole point, is that she's just so afraid that something could happen that the second she hears those dogs going off in the woods in the distance, she's like, oh my God,
He just
that
died
was
on
him.
his motorcycle.
He just died. I hear it, the sirens, they're coming, something horrible happened, and I'm just imagining him like, splayed out on the concrete, and that fear is too much to bear. Oh. There actually are 2 more verses on the released version, which is on that CD. So if you want to hear it, buy the CD. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's all streaming. So.
Was it like a 6-minute song, and you're like, we gotta knock this down?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's like the top reason that I cut down my songs a lot, and there's some that I don't sing because they're just too long, and I can't Fortunately, with this one, it doesn't take too much of the story away to cut those verses out. But there is some imagery that I really like in those verses, but just for being functional.
Hey, dogs. You can find it on all streaming platforms. Yes. Let's snap it up.
Yes.
Snap it up. Well, Elsa, where can people find your music?
Yeah, it is streaming on all major streaming platforms. I have a website, elsahowell.com, and you can find pretty much links to everywhere that I exist. It's pretty current, so
She exists. She's super official on Google.
yeah, I exist in everything. You can probably find me if I want you to.
Unless she's blocked you, in which case you shouldn't be here.
Exactly.
All right. That was the last song that we heard was "Oh Death" from Elsa Howell. Elsa Howell. You can learn more about Elsa on all streaming platforms and follow her journey on social media platforms. I'd like to say thank you to my guests this week, Amelia Empson, Adria Accomando, and Miss Elsa Howell. And thank you so much to Pell Meyer, the band, for the intro music. You didn't hear it, but it will be added in later. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming. It really means the world to me. And thank you so much, Elsa.
Thank you, Amanda.
And Amelia and Adria. I'm going to do a little tag line on the way out. A special thanks to 3rd Street Coffee and Bob Schmucker for your support. Our incredible sound designer, Eric Stachelski. Yeah, totally clap it up. This guy donated his time to help me make this a vision. This has been a dream of mine since I started the radio show 5 years ago. And I'm just so happy to be able to do this in person. And we will be taking over 3rd Street Coffee the first Saturday of every month with a live recording and taping of the show. So please come join us sometime or just tune in. Appalachian Vibes is listener nominated. You can nominate an artist by emailing me, I'm Amanda, at appalachianvibes@gmail.com. And I'm Amanda Baki. I'll see y'all next time for another hour of Appalachian Vibes Radio Show from WNCW.